Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays the Binding of Isaac AFTERBIRTH Plus. Don't look at this number. This number is a curse. It's a pox. It's a mark that besmirches the record of my performance in the Binding of Isaac AFTERBIRTH Plus. We will never lose again. Okay, we might lose this one.
Full health.
Good rate of fire, just kidding. Good damage, rate of fire is terrible, but one tier's upgrade will probably put it in a good spot. Speed is, you know, adequate. Shade. Mom's bra, which is going to come immediately and useful. And then Rachel Maddow hair. That's what my hair looked like. It's what every young person's hair looked like in the years 1998. Ooh, that's pretty good. To 2004. 100% had a little duck butt right at the front. I thought that was default short hair. I don't know if that's the common hairstyle still. But I'm telling you, every generation can be defined by one kind of hair product. My generation was 100% hair gel. My parents' generation, hairspray. I don't know, I feel like maybe the generation after me was pomade, wax. I don't really want to go that way. That has me frightened. Not an XL floor, just a big floor. I'm willing to give it a shot here. That's why I opted out. People are going to say, oh, NL has male pattern baldness. That's why he shaves his head. Nah. First off, fiscally, it's just the right decision as we enter economically uncertain times. Globally. I can't afford to spend so much money on shampoos and waxes and dyes and tints and etceteras. Secondarily, it just allows me to opt out of the constant rat race of what's the current hair product du jour or du monde. I don't know what month is in French. I definitely did know at one point. I had the misfortune of taking the majority of my French classes before the year 2000. If you asked me what year it was, I would still say it starts 1900. 1900 and something. But I could say 1999. 1999. And then just add 19 to it. Plus 19. There you go. And they would be like, you know, it's not going to make me secret agent level, but it might put me at Brad Pitt, Inglorious Bees, Grazie level. Anyway, I'm mostly rambling because I find that I play better if I'm focused on not focusing. You know, if I let my cerebellum do the majority of the work and the cerebrum focuses on getting some verbal reasoning out there. Enter that flow state that's so far away. We wait for the day through the fire and the flames sort of methodology from Rock Band. Don't know why I said it like that. From Rock Band. All we want to do is just make it through this floor with the deal with the devil chance intact. It's all we can ask for. Anytime you start on 1 HP on an Eden run, you gotta say, you know what? Things are a little spotty. Things are a little sketchy. It's basically like getting onto an airplane. You take off, and then you're, you know, climbing 100 feet, 200 feet. Poof! You see some gray feathers pop out. You realize you hit a bird. Oh no. What happens next? Well, you better hope Sully's sitting there in the pilot seat. He's gonna guide you to a safe emergency landing in the Hudson River. Now, though, we're in kind of a different... We're not in the Hudson River. We got 2 HP. We're starting to cruise. We decided the bird was small enough. It was just a canary or something like that. No complaints. Well, now a minor complaint, our speed. I don't know what I'm talking about. I got anecdotes. I took a couple of days off of Isaac. I'm trying to rework my schedule in general. Like, please, again, don't take this as, oh my god, our speed's gonna be so bad. I acted like I had no choice but to take it, but... we did have a choice, but... Still, I mean, the virus is okay. It's worth checking. I'm I mean, I'll just level with you. Don't take this as complaining, because again, when I explain it to people, I like to make it clear that it's because I'm so successful. That's not a good way to start something if you're looking to come across as modest. But it's because of the fact that I'm successful that I'm able to work so much. If it wasn't worth my time to work, I will work less. So it's a flattering thing to be able to work a lot, but I'm still trying to do it a little bit less. There are people on planet Earth who work a lot harder than I do, but I would still like to work less hard, or at least less often. This one hurts, because I could have taken the HP. Wow, that's really good. And then I would be able to get Maw of the Void. As it stands, I might be able to get Death's List. It's a little dicey here. Please give me HP. Oh, but even if, I was going to say, even if it gives me HP, it's not going to fill it up. Okay, then grab Maw of the Void, leave, grab this. Rate of Fire is just horrible. But still, we're going to buy a Spirit Heart, get the heck out of here. Anyway, again, no Spirit Hearts. Okay, I'll tell you what, we're going to try this on for size. That's worth basically nothing, and I'll see you later. I got like a schedule, you know? Monday, record, NLSS record. Tuesday, lots of streaming. Wednesday, record, NLSS record. Thursday, record, NLSS, Kate stream. Friday, you know, used to be Roundtable. We've taken like a month off from that, though. So Friday is a little bit more of a flex day, but then Saturday was this weird... Ooh, let's go. That's insanely good. Saturday was this weird day where, like, we worked. Like, I recorded and then I was on Kate's stream. But we both decided, we were like, wouldn't it be better if we actually had, like, a day off that we could spend with each other? Like, previously, Kate and I have had days where we don't both stream, but usually one or the other of us would stream. So we decided, what if we ended the week? What if we came up with a novel concept called the weekend, and we spent like a day off together with no obligations, and I'm not going, oh yeah, we can go get brunch, but I gotta be back to record 25 Isaac videos in time for, you know, I don't know, the end of the world or something like that. Excuse me. And it's also good, you know, first off, you get to spend time with the people that you love, but secondarily, I get to stock up on anecdotes. I think I'm gonna take it, even though I don't think it's going to be worth that much, considering we already had piercing shots, but the extra damage is not worth nothing, at least. So on this previous Saturday, I already did pay to go in there, so this was not necessarily worth it, but, you know, we took the day, went and explored the city that we live in. Ate some soup dumplings with, you know, Corey, twitch.tv/FlackBlag, and his better half. Saw the new Mission Impossible. Highly recommended. One of the best action movies I've seen in the past few years. Up there with the Jonathan Wicks of the world. Thoroughly enjoyed it. A non-stop thrill ride. Fun for the whole family. And then we went to a food truck festival in the city of New Westminster, British Columbia. And I gotta tell you, I was excited for the food truck festival. I eat at food trucks on occasion, a few times a year. Not that often. Now, why do I like food trucks? I'll give you the skinny, okay? There's a lot of things to dislike about food trucks. I would say, without being rude to food truck owner-operators out there, the level of standard quality of the food you get out of a food truck tends to be lower than you would get at a sit-down restaurant for a similar price. That being said, you are being served out of a truck. So there's a little novelty. You gotta cut them a little bit of slack. It's usually relatively fast. And beyond that, I'm gonna give you the dirty little secret of why I think food trucks are pretty okay. They usually sell fried foods, and there's no opportunity to get a healthy option. Most of the time, in my experience at least. So when it comes to going to a food truck festival, I was like, I'm gonna eat lots of fried things. I'm gonna eat lots of cheesy things. It's gonna be a beautiful experience. I have to tell you, my personal opinion, is that I will probably never visit a food truck festival again in my life. And I hope, you know, if you're listening to this, Corey, it's not that I'm like, oh, you wasted our Saturday with this food truck recommendation. It was fun to spend time together. I'm just saying, here's the problem with the food truck festival. It's like a video game convention. There's a huge lineup for everything, but then at the end of the line, you have to pay for food. And of course you have to pay for food, right? But it's like, why am I waiting in line for half an hour for food I have to pay for? I'm standing out here in the hot summer sun, getting some subpar macaroni and cheese. I think we're gonna go with the Book of Shadows here, obviously. Not that it's gonna surprise anybody. It's just a weird concept. Now, it's nice, you know, civic pride. You're out there. They shut down a couple of streets. We don't live in New Westminster, but it's basically like a... I don't want to say it's a suburb of Vancouver, because it's its own city. And I think it's a very big city attitude to have, is that every city within the municipality of the city that you're in is a suburb. New Westminster is certainly larger than the city that I grew up in, so to call it a suburb is mostly just a shot across the bow. If we get a deal with the devil on this floor, things are going to be looking pretty swell. We're gonna get 3 free spirit hearts. I mean, unlikely to ever use Lazarags, but that's okay. And I'll tell you the story, okay? So we're walking through the food truck festival. There's like 80 trucks. That might even be a little bit of an like a lowball estimate. Selling everything. Crepes, miniature donuts, schnitzel, chimney cakes, which is something I've never seen before in my entire life, nor did I get to eat them because the line was way too long. Suddenly, an intoxicating aroma catches my nose. It would have been better if I didn't have a bunch of mucus in there when I did that sniff. But anyway, it's that chicken karage I smell. It's Japanese popcorn chicken, boneless, deep-fried morsels of deliciousness. Huge line. You know, 50 people deep, maybe. We get in line. The festival ends at 10, and it's like 8... Actually, it's probably like 7:50 when we get in line. We know it's going to be a long time, but I'll tell you, I don't know if anybody else is in this situation, but when I grew up, and I went to things with my parents, if there was ever a line, it was like verboten. You know, you can't get in that line. Oh, Dad, I really want donuts. Donuts will be great, let's line up. Oh, there's 10 people in line? Nah, we're not going to that donut shop. We'll just go to this donut shop, which has no line, without realizing that, you know, it means that it's probably, in all likelihood, going to be a lot worse. Anyway, anybody else have that? My wife and I are content to, you know, if there's a restaurant we want to go to, we walk in and they're like, it's going to be a 45-minute wait. Is that okay? We're like, yeah, we'll be around. No problem. My parents walk into a restaurant and they're like, yeah, just give us 5 minutes to, you know, find you a table. They're like, this is outrageous. So I grew up almost never standing in line. Not because we cut the line, but because if there was any line, we would just leave and go someplace else. So I'm going to grab this as well. We got a very strong run happening here. So now I don't mind standing in line at all if it's something I really want. Say, Kate, do you want karage? You cool with standing in line? She said, sure. There we are, standing in line, you know? 10 minutes go by, we moved up a little bit. 20 minutes go by, we moved up a little bit. 30 minutes go by, we haven't moved up as much as I would like. Still like 30, 25 people in front of us. I say, Kate, I think the sun's starting to go down, you know? Why don't you go line up for something else? The food that you get 2 of it, bring it back to me in the line. We'll eat together while we're in line for this delicious chicken karage. She says, sure, she goes out. 20 minutes later, she comes back. She's got 2 orders of mac and cheese. We eat it. It's okay. And it is $13 per order. It's, like I said, it's one of the food truck things that, you know, you do just have to kind of take the L on it, is that it tends to be more expensive in many cases. I guess you're paying for the novelty of it having come out of a truck, or I don't know if there's larger overhead costs to cooking macaroni and cheese in a truck instead of doing so in the building. But anyway, so now you're starting to see, you know, I'm not just belly aching for the sake of belly aching. I'm like, you know, It's free entry to the festival, but a macaroni and cheese is $13. That's outrageous. Anyway, so we're eating the mac and cheese. We're in line. Very nice Japanese lady comes out and she goes, just so you know, there's a chance we won't have any chicken left by the time you guys get to the front of the line. We've been in line for maybe 40 minutes at this point, 45 minutes. I'm going to take both of these. I'm not afraid. Okay, we got a lot of charge shots here. Everyone goes, oh man. I'm willing to give it a shot. Everyone goes, oh man. And nobody gets out of line. Nobody. We're all saying, okay. She said there's a chance. Well, I've already invested my time here. I'm not going to go get in line for, you know, a hot dog with 7 strips of bacon on it. You know, I've staked my claim for this chicken karaage. I've invested part of my Saturday into getting this chicken karaage. I'm not leaving. Nobody around me left either. She comes out another 5 or 10 minutes later. She says, just so you know, there's a big chance that by the time you get to the front, there's going to be no chicken left. I look around, and I tweeted about it, but we had entered the line as strangers. But our time in the crucible of chicken karaage had made us brothers. We were family. Nobody got out of line. Been waiting in line for an hour for this chicken karaage. I'm not leaving, and neither is anybody else around me. Half an hour later, we're like 6 people back. The guy at the front of the line goes, oh, I'll take a chicken karaage. They go, oh, we're very sorry, but we're sold out of chicken. That was my experience at the food truck festival. Now, I'll admit, there's a little bit of our own... Well, we got a crepe after that, but anyway, it was okay. I gotta admit, we did choose one of the longest lines of the festival. Simultaneously, the workers at the food truck, which shall remain nameless to protect their identity, came out and warned us. They said you might not be able to have chicken, you're standing in line at your own risk. Which I think was their polite way of being like, we don't want to tell you to frig off, but like, you should go. And none of us, you know, we were like, until they say you can't be in line, we're not leaving. But still, it kind of, I don't know. It highlighted the innate absurdity of the food truck festival for me. I was, like, the restaurants that were on the street were closed down. Perfectly fine locations with chairs, table service, air conditioning, an exhaustive menu, professional chefs, etc., etc. In their place were mobile kitchens, ill-equipped to handle the level of demand. I just don't. I can cross it off the bucket list, I suppose. Okay, we're getting a little ridiculous here with the damage, but I can cross it off the bucket list. I no longer need to go to any more food truck festivals. I've decided it's not for me, and that's my anecdote. The end. Please, please! I mean, at this point, I can't stop. It's the karaage line all over again. It's the sunk cost fallacy. You are a jerk. Hey! I know we have Laz Rags. No wonder we're losing runs in Isaac. You know, we do stuff like this. You are a fool. I'm talking to myself. Stop. I've never seen a demon judgment stand up to this level. Driving me insane. Let's try to find our curse room. And by curse room, I mean shop. If you were at the food truck festival as well, more power to you. I hope you enjoyed yourself. It was free. And that's, I mean, it's cool. I also realized it's not like, it's not for my demographic. Without being rude. We got there, and it was like a lot of young families, you know? Pregnant ladies. Families with young children pushing a stroller. And I was like, I get it now. It's a free thing. You can take your kids to. It's family friendly. It's not for me. That's it. You know, they're like, oh, if we wait in line for half an hour, it's quality time spent with the kids. Something we can all do together. I get it. People went insane for these food trucks, man. It was like being at PAX. People had like lineup strategies just to be able to buy food. It was a weird glimpse into a different side of the culture, I guess. Like, it's the kind of... It's a lineup that's long enough that it either pushes people together or it pulls them apart, you know? I've had situations. The worst lineup situation I ever had in my entire life. Well, there's two really, really bad ones that I can think of. One is, there's a music festival called Hillside in Guelph, Ontario, that I've been to with Michael A. L. Fox on many occasions. Great festival, extremely well run. Nice way to spend the weekend, for sure. But if you're not camping there, you gotta take a shuttle bus. And the final shuttle buses of the night is a lineup that's like an hour long, and everybody's just like totally dried out from being outside all day. They just want to be inside, like anywhere. And it becomes martial law. People are cutting in front of other people in line. Fights are not breaking out because, you know, it's kind of like a pseudo hippie festival. So it's like a little bit less aggressive, or at least directly confrontational than that, which is a good thing. But it's getting aggressive, you know? So that's a really bad one. The other one was, and you're gonna laugh at this, I escorted Kate to a Hatsune Miku concert in Seattle once, and the merch line had the least well-behaved people I've ever seen in my entire life. And I know why they were poorly behaved. It was because they were worried they were gonna miss the concert. But also part of going to the concert is you have to buy a shirt, otherwise you weren't really there. I don't fully understand it, but I've come to accept it. At a lot of enthusiast fan festivals, like for example Final Fantasy Fan Fest, I was asking Kate, I was like, what do people go for? You know, are they there to see like the keynote speech from the game's director? The answer is yeah. They there to get some juicy tidbits of information about the newest expansion? The answer is yeah. But what's the real reason? Limited edition merch. And I think it's like, you want the merch. But you want the merch for two reasons. One is, you want the merch. The other one is that, you know, you can go to your friends who also play the game and be like, check it out. You know, it's a very rare shirt that I picked up from being at the thing. I don't know why I said it like that, because I also had the realization immediately that I'd lost the Chaos card. So we're gonna go back for that. And the people were like, and like, don't take this the wrong way, I'm a nerd, but they were nerds. So they were talking, they're like, wait, oh, we could just, hey, we're gonna miss the concert. Can we just like squeeze in front of these people? Like, and then one of them was like, I don't want to do that. And they're like, no, come on, dude, we're gonna miss the concert. Just squeeze in front of them. And then they squeezed in front of us. And I'll be honest, like I was getting a little heated. But before I had a chance to do anything I regretted, like initiate a fight and then get my butt kicked, Kate was like, we're in front of you in line. We just saw you cut. And they were like, oh, you did? Okay. Like, no apology. And then they just went back to their spot in line. I get it, you know? You want to see the everybody's here to see the same concert, dude. You don't have to worry about it, you know? It's a system. It's a line. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the concept of a line. It's, let me put it in some terms that we can both understand. It's a queue. The first one that enters is the first one that leaves. Just takes a little while to get through it, but that's, you know, queuing is it's the basis of a utilitarian society where we're all valued equally, you know, an egalitarian society. Rich, poor, you know, it doesn't matter. In the line, everybody's equal. And any attempt to besmirch the egalitarian nature of the line, oh, it rattles my chains, dude. I don't respect it. So anyway, that was the food truck festival. You just realized after standing outside for like an hour and a half, which again we probably from a game theory perspective chose poorly which truck to go to, but simultaneously you're like, why am I standing outside waiting for food that I could get someplace else? It'll probably be better and then it'll also be, you know, less of a time sink, and then yeah, I guess it's part of the atmosphere, I suppose. A lot of being outside, I guess, is deliberately inconveniencing yourself for leisurely purposes. Could I have described that more in like a Dr. Spock sort of way? I'm not sure. Ooh, Captain, I don't understand. That's James T. Kirk. That is not Spock. Captain, I don't understand. I am the captain now. Captain Phillips, you seen it? Me neither. I haven't seen a Thomas Hanks film in a long time, I'm realizing. You know? I have not seen, I haven't seen The Post. I haven't seen Bridge of Spies. I wonder what the last Tom Hanks... You know what? This is a great question. Wiki, Tom Hanks, selected filmography, please. And make your guesses right now. Legacy and impact, career, upcoming? No, just give me a filmography, Wikipedia. Why are you being weird? Tom Hanks' filmography? Is that its own separate article? What the... Awards for Tom Hanks? This is... Okay, Tom Hanks' filmography is its own Wikipedia article. That's insane. List of Tom Hanks performances. My lord. It never... You know what? It's probably Toy Story 3. I'll level with you. It's probably Toy Story 3. Here we go. The Post, Mark Felt. The Circle, Inferno, Sully, Hologram for the King, My Big Fat Greek Wedding 2. Seen none of them. Ithaca, Bridge of Spies, Saving Mr. Banks, Captain Phillips, Parkland, Partysaurus Rex, Cloud Atlas, Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close, Small Fry, Larry Crown, Hawaiian Vacation, Toy Story 3. Toy Story 3 is the most recent movie I've seen with Tom Hanks. That's wild, dude. When I think of like a famous actor, Tom Hanks is honestly probably still the first one that comes to mind. I haven't seen any of his movies in nearly a decade. Before that, it looks like it was the Simpsons movie, which I have to imagine he was probably in as a cameo playing himself. It's been a while. I saw it in theaters and have never seen it since, but... I mean, the Simpsons movie's pretty good. It was a return to form for a media property that lost a lot of its luster over the years. It's really on me, I guess. I should see Captain Phillips. I mean, the dude was nominated for Best Oscar. Skolex. It's a weirdly, like, slow run, considering... Well, I was gonna say considering our damage stat, but it's really considering just the amount of beams that we're putting on an enemy's face every 2 seconds here when given the opportunity. Thank you. And probably this. You know what? We're getting so many. Dude, conjoined with Brimstone? That's a rare combination, but I like it. I wonder if there's an actor out there recently whose films I've seen the highest percentage of. I'll level with you. It's gotta be a Marvel actor. Absolutely. Like, I think we're still one away from becoming Guppy here. Like, you can take some obvious ones. Like, there's John Cazale. John Cazale was in 2 Godfather movies, The Conversation, and Dog Day Afternoon, and The Deer Hunter. Every movie, he was in 5 movies before he died. Every movie that he was in was nominated for Best Picture. It's an amazing legacy, right? I'm gonna bet on us getting a deal with the devil here, instead of just using the Guppy's Paw. But it's kind of like, I'm not gonna say it's a cheap answer, but it's kind of like the gimme answer. Yo, let's actually go. So the right play here, if you want to prove that you're like a real OG Isaac player, is you'd use Guppy's Paw, then grab this, then use Guppy's Paw again. I'm not too worried about it, considering we got 4 brimstone lasers, really. I think we should be relatively okay to not 100% min-max every situation. Like, I was thinking, it could be Robert Downey Jr., but I've seen very little of Robert Downey Jr.'s work prior to Iron Man. I've probably seen almost everything he's done since then, and I've seen Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, but anything he did between the 1980s and the year 2009, apart from that, little light. Chris Evans, there's a chance. I've seen both Fast and the Furious movies. I've seen Not Another Teen Movie. All the Captain Americas. Well, I mean, all the Marvel movies in general. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. You know, we're starting to get into pretty close territory, I have to imagine. But he's probably, strikes me as one of those guys who's got some romantic comedies under his belt that made $4 million at the box office domestic that I've never even heard of. Same thing, Chris Hemsworth. I know he's, you know, I've seen the Thor movies, and I mean, again, all the Marvel stuff he's been in. And then, I think he was in, like, the remake of Red Dawn, which I have not seen, and probably some more romantic comedies where he, you know, takes off his shirt, which is fine, you know. I would, too, if anybody asked. I don't know, man. It's like, I feel like there's a little nugget, like an obvious choice that I just can't come up with myself. I don't know what it is. There's gotta be an option that I'm not thinking of. Should have thought of this while I was in line at the food truck festival. Hush. He got the hush. So I'm fighting Hush. Basically, here's... What will I fight Void for? Or Delirium? I mean, if you want to pay me, like, actual hard-earned American dollars to fight Delirium, I'll consider it. What will I fight Hush for? You know. Just to fill time sometimes. If I have a Chaos card, it's like, why not come down here and get some free items at least? Like Holy Water and Pisces, huge help. Did you notice the bad manners that Pisces had for us, by the way? It gave us a -1 tier delay, which is not bad, except we're at 66. So it was like a 1.5% tiers upgrade. Incredible. That's just a slap in the face. That's like the interest rate your bank gives you. It's an insult. Go ahead, I don't care. Hit me. This run turned out, but I gotta remember, I can't use this as like a... as a way to, you know, inform my future decisions. We played way too risky, and got a lot of high rolls when it comes to loot. I love the concept of a high roll, man. You know, I think, I don't know if this is because I play video games that have probability associated with them, but I've come to see, like, a lot of my core philosophy in life is very much related to, like, percentages and chances and probabilities, you know? Trying to think of what I mean by that. Like, I'm not talking about, like, oh, you know, you took a right turn on Terminal Avenue and then, you know, nearly got in the car accident with somebody. When you exchanged information, you realized you were from the same hometown, you had the same teacher in kindergarten, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden, next thing you know, Gwyneth Paltrow sliding doors, you're married. I'm talking more like, we don't need this. It actually, I mean, it gives us permanent Polaroid invincibility. I'm talking about the percentage chance that, like, you know, when you say something to someone, for example, there's, like, if you say something terrible, there's, like, a 100% chance that they're going to react terribly. For everything else, you know, it's kind of percentages. You never know how somebody's going to take something. Sometimes they're going to take it well, sometimes they're going to take it badly, and it depends on how they're feeling on that day as well. You know, depending on where you're at, the way that you send something across, what they had for lunch, what you had for lunch, whether you brushed your teeth since lunch, how many cups of coffee you had. I'm trying to say you have bad breath, okay? We've been trying to find a nice and civil way to tell you, and look, I figured I'd just pull the Band-Aid off. How does, you know, get some, what's that? It's not Tamiflu. Thermobreath? Something like that. So I didn't have a choice. We accidentally gulped the left hand here. Speed up, sure. That's like our 8th speed up, and yet still We have more room to go. No, that's okay. Not interested. If you're gonna hit a dead end, I like hitting one early. That's what I'll say about this room so far. And a very easy Isaac run. Like, no complaints about this one. It's easy like a Sunday morning, dude. That whole bit was not originally constructed, by the way, to just be a joke about bad breath. It was, I mean, it was constructed in just a haphazard way. I was thinking about it, like, when I was younger, I thought, like, you know, if you talk to people, you know, depending on what you say, there's like a 100% chance they're going to react. Like, if you're polite to someone, there's a 100% chance they're going to be polite back, but, you know, I'm learning, as you get older, it's more nuanced, you know? Sometimes I think about it with respect to myself. I turn the gaze inwards. Sometimes people say or do things that irritate me, and at the time, it feels like I'm justified. And then the next day, I'm like, I wasn't justified at all. I was just under-caffeinated. Or I was just, you know, I had watched Grizzly Man, and they played that scene where Werner Herzog starts to cry when he listens to Timothy Treadwell's audio, and that had left me in like a weird spot emotionally, and I reacted in a way that was different than I normally would have. Or, you know, I had too many carbohydrates for lunch, and, you know, I was feeling a little bit bloated, so when you were like, do you want to get dessert? I was like, are you crazy? You get the idea. I'm saying context, dude. Context is everything. Not probability so much as context. And I could use a little fuel myself, and we could all use a little change. Take me out. Good run. Good start to a new streak that'll never end. For now, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. And, of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.